What's going on, folks? Frank Nitty here. We're going to go ahead and talk about the Packers losing to the Detroit Lions last night on Thursday Night Football. And honestly, there's not really a whole lot of good things to say. Because, one of the reasons why I didn't make a video talking about the Saints game, because I would have just been talking negative more than I would have been talking positive. And the thing is, I love the fact that we won the football game. Don't get me wrong. I like that we won. A win is a win. And that we came back being down 17-0. But we still ultimately had no business winning that game. And it's and the reason why I say that is because you just see the way the Packers have been playing football since that fourth quarter against the Falcons, and it's like this team honestly should be 1-3. I mean, it's the way they played in that fourth quarter against the Falcons, they deserved to lose that game, and the way they played for three quarters and the three quarters against the Saints, they should have lost that game as well. And this time against the Lions, it was just too much to overcome. Starting off slow and not getting anything going. This time it wasn't going to happen. It led to an L. And I don't know I don't know what's going on, but Matt LaFleur and those guys need to figure it out quickly. Because right now Green Bay just has a serious problem with being able to maintain drives, staying on the field, and scoring points early in the game. This whole playing from behind and trying to rally in the second half, that's cute and all in certain times, but most of the time you're not going to win football games playing that way when you can't get anything going to start the game, when you're constantly going 3 and out, when you can't execute plays. The end results are going to be exactly what it was. This game against the Lions, the Lions just won this game starting up front. The Packers, despite the fact that Green Bay had Aaron Jones back, we still decided to throw the football. And we decided to throw the football a lot. So despite having Aaron Jones back, Matt LaFleur did not try to lean on the run game at all. He just came out throwing the ball, three straight passes. That ended the drive. Next following drive, the Lions get the ball, and Rudy Ford gets a nice pick. We turn that pick into no goddamn points. And it was just pretty much all downhill from there. It completely went all downhill where the Lions were moving the ball. They got a pick where we were already pinned deep in our red zone. And next thing you know, it's 24-3. And you might say, well, how does all this stuff happen? It was like I said, look at the way how the Packers played this game in the first half. The offensive line were getting their ass kicked. They were absolutely getting their ass kicked, and Jordan Love was under pressure so much in this football game, and it's one of the biggest things that I didn't want to come out of this football game. And it's one of the things literally that I didn't want to happen in general. One thing that I really, really wanted the Packers to avoid was putting too much pressure on Jordan Love this early in the season. This is what I didn't want. But the offense just doesn't have any balance right now. We don't have no run game at all. We don't have no run game. We can't rely on A.J. Dillon. Aaron Jones always is being very limited when he's out there. He just came back from his injury, so that makes it even worse. So right now, Jordan Love is in a position where he has his two best offensive linemen injured. David Bakhtiari just that guy's on IR again. Elton Jenkins, don't know whenever he's going to come back. So Jordan Love right now has to go out there in a situation where the offense is just completely one-dimensional, and he's being asked to throw the ball 30 plus times a game in order for us to get a chance, because you can't rely on that defense. You can't rely on the Packers defense to keep you in the game. Sure, they technically did that against the Saints. But they can think heavily for their quarterback getting injured. Okay? They can think heavily for Derek Carr going down the way he did. But ultimately, you can't rely on this Joe Barry soft-ass defense to win you football games. It's not going to happen. We got some guys on the defensive end like Rashawn Gary who keeps playing well. He had a nice game. Despite how bad this game was, Rashawn Gary had a nice game. He got some pressures on golf, sacked him a couple times. Quay Walker, despite his foolish mistake on special teams at the end of the game, late in the game, he still had 19 total tackles, so he was all over the place. But overall, this defense is still exactly what it is: soft, can't get off the field when it matters, can't and most importantly, cannot stop the run. And this is now the second game of the season where the Packers gave up 200 plus yards of rushing. Boy, I don't know how any NFL I don't know how any NFL coach can just watch his defense just get completely stomped on and run down, just completely run over as much and often as the Packers. I don't get it, man. I just don't know why Matt LaFleur just keeps experimenting, just keeps trying this experiment with Joe Barry. But God, Matt LaFleur is just such a clown. This guy's a clown. Right, the way he game plans, the way he calls plays, the way he just has this team coming out there looking like they looking completely unprepared. I mean, this team being young is just no excuse. But good coaching shouldn't be having your team looking like this. Whether they're young, regardless of how young the damn team is, that is no excuse. No excuse to come out and just be completely one-dimensional, throwing the football and not being able to run the ball, not being able to run block, not being able to protect your quarterback. On the other side of the field, not being able to stop the run. What? I don't know why. I don't know why Matt LaFleur is still trying this experiment with Joe Barry. How many times we have to keep seeing the defense give up this many damn yards on rushing before you say, you know what? It's time to make a change. It's time to kind of move on from a defensive quarterback who's been ranked 20 plus in total defense on every goddamn team he's coached. The same guy who was the defensive coordinator on the 0-16 Lions. What the hell you think was going to expect bringing him in? But you know what? I hate to sit there and go off on the defense the way I am, because it's like the defense a lot of times is really put in bad positions. Because we're getting no production out of the offensive side of the ball. With no production on the other side of the ball, you're just gonna put your defense in really bad situations where they're out there on the field a lot. When your offense can't stay on the field and even pick up one first down. So the Packers come out there in the second half, they rally for some couple of touchdowns, and then that was it. This time it was just too much. It was too much of a deficit to overcome, man, and that's why ultimately the Packers are 2-2. Yeah, and again, like I said, that's the reason why I didn't talk about that Saints game, because I'm just like, we really escaped the game that we should have lost, and then here we definitely deserve to lose this game. Completely just getting whooped on every phrase of the game. Our run defense is still trash. Has been trash since Mike Pettin came to town. This didn't start with Joe Barry. It started with Mike Pettin. Our run defense is just absolutely atrocious. We're out there playing injured. Russell Douglas is our only starting cornerback coming into this season that was out there. Jair was out again with a back injury. Eric Stokes, I don't even know if that guy's ever going to play again. So we got a weak secondary with secondary with terrible safeties. A guy like Donald Savage who misses tackles all the time. And then we got a run defense up front. And we got these guys up front that can't stop the run whatsoever. And when you play like that, you're going to lose, man. You're going to lose against teams like the Lions that can come out and play aggressive and punch you right in the mouth. And that seems to always be the case whenever we play teams like the Lions or the 49ers. Teams that can just come out and just beat you in the trenches, can whip your offensive line, can run the ball down your throat. We can't stop it. Matt LaFleur has no way to game plan, has never been able to game plan against teams like this. Never. He has no answer. None. And when you're out there right now with a young quarterback like Jordan Love, who's as inexperienced as he is, and you can't protect him, you can't get him a run game to rely on, you can't have a defense that's going to be consistent enough and stop the run. He's pretty much just being forced, just like Aaron Rodgers for so many years, just being forced to go out there and try to win the game for us. He's been forced to go out there and play hero ball because he has nothing else to rely on. Nothing. He has to go out there and throw the ball over 30 times for this Packers team to win a football game. That's just the way it's looking. And do you really want that from a young, inexperienced quarterback like himself? No. But it was literally what I was saying on my first game, the first game against the Bears. I literally said that. I did not want this type of pressure being put on Jordan Love this early in the season. And unfortunately, that's what's happening. Because we can't depend on anything else. We suck at every phase of the game. We suck on defense. We suck on special teams. Special teams, once again, is still garbage. This guy Keyshawn Nixon, man, he was taking he was a big play guy for us last season, but he hasn't done shit this season. And a lot of times he's being aggressive and taking the ball out of end zone, deep in the end zone, leading us to have bad field position to start. At one point in time, Jalen Reed fumbled on the punt return. Yeah, Keyshawn Nixon did have that one nice little return on the punts, but that's about it. Special teams, once again, is trash, just like it always is. So again, that all goes right back to your offense. That all goes right back to having to put all this pressure on your young quarterback like Jordan Love to just go out there and play hero ball to try to win the game for us, and that's no way to win the fucking NFL. That is absolutely no way to win in this league, man. None. So, the Lions absolutely earned this victory. There was no fluke about it. We knew how good this team was, and Matt LaFleur, just like he does time and time again, poorly game plan, and you saw the results. Like I'm just really fed up. I can't stand Joe Barry. I can't stand his defensive schemes, and I can't stand Matt LaFleur's ass just being horrible in his game planning, and just right now has this young, inexperienced offense. It's just being poorly coached and having so many goddamn miscues on every level. Because like I said, if you can't even stay on the field long enough to even pick up one first down, how the hell do you expect to win a football game? It's not going to happen, man. The Packers have got to stop coming out playing slow, and they need to stop it. Because they keep coming out playing slow like this and then falling behind by more like 2 or 3 touchdowns. Don't expect to win another game for the rest of this season. Let alone even try to even possibly compete for a playoff spot. Oh boy, I mean, I don't know what else there is more to say, man. I don't know what else. I don't know what more to say. I mean, it was happy to see Christian Watson back out there again. You know, he got a touchdown catch. That was great. Romeo Doubs had a career high of 9 receptions. Jalen Reed had a nice catch at the end of third quarter, which really should have been blown dead. You know, I'm trying to take some positive things out of this game, but it's not a whole lot. It's not a whole lot, man. We're just a poorly coached team right now. A really poorly coached team. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Ultimately, they gotta figure something out, man, because what they're doing right now just isn't working. And if you're a frustrated Packer fan like me, you gotta be livid just by the way this team played last night. You got to be absolutely livid playing like that playing like that at Lambeau. So I'll just end the video saying this. Matt LaFleur, you suck. Okay? I gave up on this dude last year after that week 1 game against the Vikings. After we came out playing as trash as we did. He is a horrible coach when it comes to game planning, preparing. He is. And when you don't have a guy like Aaron Rodgers out there to cover your ass and put Band-Aids on the wounds, that's just ultimately what's going to happen. So Matt LaFleur is just a horrible game planning coach. And like I said, after the way we played in week 1 last year, that was all the proof I needed, man. And this game last night was pretty much the dagger to just know exactly what type of coach this guy is and how he always has his team unprepared, especially when going up against better football teams like the Detroit Lions. And he's just gonna keep his guy Joe Barry on the opposite side of the ball and continue on being happy and okay with the fact that this defense is giving up 200+ yards on the ground. He's gonna be okay with that. And I already know what he's gonna do. He's probably at home right now, tucking on the phone with his guy, saying everything's gonna be okay. He has the nerve to sit there and say how you can't keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. Well, quite frankly, dude, you've been doing that same thing for the last few years now. So you're a clown. Joe Barry's a clown. Both of these guys, I'm just sick of them. And until at least one of them, especially Joe Barry in this case, is out of here, ain't nothing's going to change about Green Bay. Nothing. And that's all I got. I'm out of here.